Right, we're on. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. How you doing?
All right, we're going to address the elephant in the room. For those of you watching on YouTube, I am in a rocking chair, in a armchair rocking chair, while Kaya is in a normal chair.
So the thing is, when you have a guest,
Yeah.
usually you would say, "Look, take this amazing chair,
Take the comfortable chair,
take the
yeah.
comfortable,
Yeah.
rocking, quilted,
Yeah.
looking along back, a lovely chair."
Yeah.
But you've actually decided to give me this one,
That's
which is also
correct.
very nice.
Yeah. No, actually, I did. When you came in here, I said choose your chair.
Yeah, but I felt there was
You
some
felt
sort,
the eyes.
yeah, I felt
No,
something happening.
No, actually,
Because I looked at that and I just felt eyes all over
Yeah,
me.
no, but you could have chosen this chair. But the thing is
Could've
that
done.
you actually chose the right chair because you got a brand new mic.
Yeah,
So
but
your audio
nice.
is going to be crispy right now. Can you look at the difference? Mine looks all dusty.
Does it?
Yeah,
I can't really. Okay, yeah, that's true.
it does.
But
Yeah, yours
I-
looks shiny.
Okay, but I do wonder if the chair feels nice.
The chair's comfortable. I could fall
Yeah,
asleep in it.
I mean the fact that you're rocking back and forth is also
Yeah,
like,
it doesn't help the visuals of like
taunting me as well.
YouTube, yeah, exactly.
I haven't
no,
got
the
that
reason-
feature on this one.
Okay, the reason is, ladies and gents, brothers and sisters, because it is that we are. This might be the final episode in this set.
Yeah.
We did mention a few episodes ago that this was a temporary set. But I'm going to give you guys the lowdown. And so, by the way, this chair was in this room. This room was never built to be a set. It was like, and then so this big chair, normally when we do episodes, I have to get this out of the room. And today I was like, I cannot be bothered because, last time I had to take the chair out of the room, I had to unscrew the door off the wall.
Really?
Yeah. So I was like, I'm not doing that. Like,
bro.
not for episode 382
300
or whatever it is.
whatever it is.
Yeah. If it's episode 400,
Yeah.
you'd have walked in this house and I would have had a drill in my hands. And
All
the
doors have been off.
Yeah, all doors. Yeah, just
For no
standard.
reason.
Yeah, exactly. but it's very smart. So I was like, I'm not taking the room. And the room's too small to fit, like, to move this out of the way. And I was like, you know what? It might be the final episode in this set. Let me just sit in the armchair and it'll be fine. So that's that. Okay, are you guys happy now? Gosh. Such losers.
Yeah.
Just commenting on my chair situation.
I've still got some gripes, but we'll move on.
Yeah.
What is it? It'll be cool if one day we would like refer to the episodes of like what happened in the episode. So instead of like always episode 384, it's the rocking chair episode.
Oh, okay,
Do you know
yeah.
what I mean?
That'd be cool.
That'd be cool. One
Yeah,
day.
or it could be like episode 3, whatever, : the rocking chair episode.
There we go.
Get a bit of both.
That'll catch on.
Yeah.
I want to say I just drove into your
Compound.
compound.
Yeah.
Do you call it compound? I call it community. Compound sounds. I don't like it.
Oh, really?
When people move to this part of the world, they always say, yeah, the compound. It just sounds like jail to me.
Really?
So I say community. So anyway, I driving in, and I pulled up to security guy's little booth, and I said,
That sounds very compoundy.
"It does, doesn't it?" And I said, the number of your house,
Yeah.
right? And he goes, "Oh, Faisal Chowdhury."
No, he didn't.
At that point,
No, he didn't.
bro. He did. He
Did
actually
he?
did. We locked eyes, and we both knew at that point we're dealing with someone big, big.
Bro,
I was like, like that, and he was like,
No, but that's weird because
Yeah.
my security has never really
"Oh,
spoken
he knows
to
who
me.
you are, right? Not just knows you, first and second
He
name
said,
basis."
he said my last name.
No, you said
Bro,
your full name.
He's in my
You said your-
govy.
your govy.
He said my govy.
He called me by surprise, but I had to like, double take. And
No
he was like,
way.
yeah. And I was like, I said to him, how do you know that? And he didn't respond.
That's really funny. I guess the short answer is that he has his job is to know who lives here.
I guess so.
I guess.
Yeah, but
I
still,
guess,
bro.
yeah.
I don't think he knows
Yeah,
everyone.
Yeah, because there's like at least 400 houses. in
Yeah,
this-
man. That's
this-
not a joke
yeah.
to know everyone's name, but
That's
maybe,
funny.
or someone's complained about you recently.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah,
More likely.
by
yeah.
name.
Yeah, by both names. Yeah. Okay, that's
Yeah.
interesting.
Just wanted to let you know that you're now known.
It's the security situation here is a little bit annoying though, because like when Omar was away in London, I would regularly go to his house because it was an empty house, and he was like, "If you want to work from here, just
Yeah.
work from here." So I was, and I had to constantly give my ID and my mobile number, stuff like that, which I guess is a good thing. But for me, I just said to the security guard, I was like, "Look, it's my brother's house. Like, you know
Yeah.
this. Like, just
Yeah.
let me in, man." So then he just started letting me in.
It's actually kind of something I find annoying about Dubai. Where it's like it's such a safe place, and yet there's a kind of security in place that you would kind of hope there was in like back home.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's still there, even though the risk is very low.
Yeah.
So it does get very much like, bro, we both know it's no issue. You just let me in, but
Sometimes, but no, it's more positive than negative.
it is.
Um,
But sometimes it gets someone else.
Okay, so I mentioned that this could be the final episode.
Yeah.
In this set. And so I thought what would be good for this episode is, you know, sometimes we have episodes. There's a bit of banter. there's a bit of discussion about worldly matters.
We try.
But I think this episode we have a bit of a topic at hand, which is we haven't done an episode in a few weeks. There's been a lot of shifts. This has actually been the most monumental change in Fresh Uganda so far that's been going on, and so maybe it'd be good to let the listeners in on the deal and what's happening and why this is the final episode potentially in this set, and as they say, so on and so forth, Kaya,
etc.
Yeah. I actually heard a new saying recently.
Okay.
And literally since I've heard it, I think I've used it every day.
Okay.
That's also because I've been on investor calls every single day. Like I've been losing my voice for past weeks. I'll be shocked if I don't get laryngitis. Is that a thing?
It is.
Yeah. But don't you need tonsils to have laryngitis?
No, you need a larynx.
Right.
The fact you're speaking to me, I think you got one.
Yeah, I've got a larynx.
I don't have tonsils either.
Oh no way.
We should become best friends.
Yeah, exactly. Well, so I can't get tonsillitis.
Yeah.
But like, I might get laryngitis. I've literally been losing my voice. Okay, so the saying, where did I hear it? Okay, it was Naval. He said it on the Modern Wisdom podcast, and he said it was a passing statement. It didn't even sound like anything crazy, but for some reason it hit me. He just said anything that bleeds eventually dies. And
okay.
He was talking about, obviously he was using it metaphorically, whereas I was using it literally. You know, he was using it metaphorically for, I suppose, like projects or something. But ever since he said that, I've heard that. I've used it almost in every investor call, and like I've just been talking about Fresh Uganda in general, and a lot of investors are interested in why I left Turtle and stuff like that. Yeah. And I was basically saying that things were going so great at Turtle, we scaled it like incredibly. I was so proud of the growth and stuff like that. But, part of my deal at Turtle, I suppose, was, the reason I was so happy to join was because I knew that I could still do Fresh Uganda on the side. And they were not only okay with that, they were very supportive of that. But over the past 6 months, Turtle has been so busy, I just haven't been able to give Fresh Uganda enough time at all. And I was just kind of watching it bleed. And anything that bleeds, as Sego actually died, I didn't want it to die. Yeah. And it was just the best way of explaining it. And so I've been using that saying every single day. I literally used it in an investor call today.
Yeah. Have you been trying to like deliberately shoehorn it into every call? Because it'd be funny if like the call's coming to an end, and you're like, you know what? I'm really interested. I think by the way,
anything
that bleeds gonna die.
You heard the saying. No, but you know what? Because it's like on top of my mind for some reason. It just keeps coming out. It actually relates to a lot of scenarios. And there's another one which I heard our friend Bilal Adam, who is executive vice something. He's like head of digital at DP World, and he was on a podcast recently that he asked me to review, and in it he said something which was just like, wow. He said, gone is the kind, like, not exact words, but he said gone is the era of standing on the stage and speaking to the audience. Now in marketing, you have to stand in the crowd and speak amongst the crowd. And I was like, wow, that's so true. It's like, there was a time where TikTok, Instagram, and all it was like becoming popular. There was a level of back offishness from the corporate world, right? It's like, we're not going to go like down to TikTok, like, we have a level of prestige. And now you'd be like absolutely ridiculous if you were an organization and you weren't using TikTok as a form of your marketing. Yeah. And that is an example of when, just being an established brand, i.e. talking on the stage, is not enough. You have to actually talk amongst the crowd, which is, you have to be in TikTok, you have to be in Instagram, you have to be up to date. It's like the example of like, the Foot Lockers and JDs and that, trying to, create content with content creators and things like that. I think that's like talking to the crowd. And so I used that today in an investor call as well.
Yeah, that's interesting, because I've kind of seen it myself with like my agency Wordify. We've helped SaaS companies since like 2016. And initially back then we would say, we've got to make your founder or your CEO a thought leader, right? We've got to make them an authority in the industry, right? And we'd use mostly LinkedIn to do that, but also blog posts, whatever. Now it's like, same tactic as in getting the CEO or the founder to talk more and connect more with potential customers. But it's no longer like thought leader or become an authority. It's more like, mingle with the people. Yeah. It's more like show and illustrate that you know the pain points of the customers, you've been through it yourself, that's why you built the product. So like lean on those stories rather than, you know, we've just dealt with this huge client and we did this, we did that. So instead of trying to build authority from that, you know, on the stage, you have to sort of come down and tell them that you know what they're experiencing, you know what they're going through, you know their growth pains and how to solve it, type of thing. We even see it with like the change in like Mark Zuckerberg and other tech guys. They went from like, you know, very standoffish, very rarely making public statements, and now he's like, you know,
he went from the guy who like only wears the exact same t-shirt every day to save you know, decision making,
smoking meats,
all of a sudden and he went gold chains,
jiu-jitsu, like
oversized box t-shirts.
There you go. We saw, and Jeff Bezos a little bit as well.
Yeah,
he went from like, you know, again, very reserved tech nerd, didn't really come out to the public. Now he's like borderline like movie star type of thing.
Yeah, it's true, bro. Yes, I think they realize that, and that shift has happened across both personalities and industries. Yeah. So I've been using that basically about 2 weeks ago I announced that we are going to go down the private equity route for Freshly Grounded, and what that basically means is it's pretty standard amongst, you know, majority of companies that exist today. Pretty much any company that you would have thought of, that you can think of, you know, Ubers, the Netflixes, and those kind of pretty much any company, they have this idea and then they raise money through private equity, so investors, and they give investors, you know, typically a piece of the company, a percentage, or like X amount % for the company, and then once that company starts making profit, those investors get paid, right? You know, for profit share or whatever. And, you know, things that, if you're in the investing game and you're aware of that side of the world, you know, it wouldn't surprise you that companies like, you know, Netflix, Uber, potentially even Airbnb, I'm not sure, are still not profitable. For example, Netflix is not profitable. So the investors are essentially not making any money. They just have this value. So as Netflix is getting more and more valuable, you know, their net worth is getting more valuable, but they may not, for example, start seeing income, stuff like that. So it's an interesting game, and I've always wanted to learn more about it. But I left Tertil, and the vision was go full-time Freshly Grounded. And when I left Tertil, what I basically did is I launched like myself as a marketing consultant. What happened truly is when I left Tertil, I started getting job offers for like head of marketing roles again, which was really flattering, but also it made me really grateful to Tertil because it showed the impact of working at that kind of organization and the perception that it has. But I immediately turned down those job offers because I knew I wanted to work on FG. And so what I was trying to do to fill in the gaps, because at this point hadn't decided that we were going to raise private equity, is I was like, right, I'm going to do consultancy, and that's going to allow me to earn my bread and butter. And then, by the way, butter. This is obviously how you want to say it. And that's going to be my bread and butter, and then I will use that fund to survive, and then I'll build FG. So then I started this marketing consulting thing. So I'm bringing on clients, and I realized, bro, that anytime you're not fulfilling your client service, you're essentially a salesman. You're trying to get on calls because you don't know when the next contract's going to come. So you're in that constant state of panic. You're trying to close deals. You're getting new leads, and I was like, this is taking up all my time. This is exactly not what I should be doing. And then so I gave it some time. I was over Ramadan, like mulling it over. I spoke to loads of people. I got so much consultation and advice, and basically came to the decision that if I really want Freshly Grounded to be what I dream of it being, and what I think it's capable of being, then it requires my full-time attention. It requires me to finally build out a core team that's full-time, you know, a full-on studio, and that will require either for me to be constantly making money elsewhere to try and fund it, or to just go all in on it and therefore go down the private equity route. And that's what I ended up deciding to do. It's very scary doing that because you think, well, first of all, you have to really believe in the product, because when you start taking investor money, now people put in, and you have to be confident that you can, you know, that the business is going to be successful. That's one thing. But the scary thing really was, is this going to work? Am I actually going to be able to raise? And then I've basically put myself out there, and it's not happened. Anybody who knows about raising money knows that typically a company may take 3 to 6 months to complete their round. And alhamdulillah, bro, after 4 days of investor calls, we had already reached a third, I think, of the way there. And now, after about a week and a half, 2 weeks of investor calls, alhamdulillah, we're halfway there to closing our round. So I expect we'll close our round, inshallah, by the end of the month. It might go a little bit into May, I'm not sure. But it's been super successful, alhamdulillah. I'm so taken aback by how many people believe in FG and the mission. The investor profile has been incredible. You know, ex-Silicon Valley Twitter employees, people who own, tech companies, employees at some of the world's largest companies. But all of them are Muslims who believe in what we do and our mission. And you know what the best feedback has been, bro? It's been people saying, we've invested in tech, we've invested in our own companies, but we've never been able to invest in media because everything in media is haram.
Yeah.
And so we just never had that opportunity, but we've been intrigued to invest into media. And this is the first opportunity that we've been given to invest in halal Muslim media.
Yeah.
And so that was nice. Bro, so that's basically where we're at. We're still halfway around. So still, I haven't been, if you are a follower of mine personally on Instagram or TikTok or Freshly Grounded, you'll notice we've basically been putting nothing out. And that's because I've been heads down every single day doing investor calls, investor emails, shareholder agreements. I'm just in a completely non-creative zone. And we're doing an episode now, which means I must be feeling a little bit creative. And the truth is that I realize that, okay, this is a long-term play. Like, I'm 2 weeks in, we're at a good position, but it may take another 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks. And I can't not turn my creative brain on for that long. So now I'm trying to do this hybrid model where I'm like half, head in the books and half like, okay, let's get the episodes going and stuff like that. And we've also got a lot of paperwork happening right now. I'll put down an offer for a studio space. And so that's, inshallah, if we get the keys for that, then, that's why this will be the last episode in this room, which is in my house.
Alhamdulillah, Barak, man.
That's the monologue.
It is, and it was a very nice monologue. Our order's here, by the way, just to step it out.
Yeah, let's grab it. Let me go grab it. Shall I go grab it?
Yeah, go on. It was going to be a Caventer's milkshake, by the way.
Really?
Yeah.
What's that?
It's a really nice milkshake, like a thick milkshake.
You had me a milkshake.
Yeah, it's a really good milkshake, man.
Really?
I got you a pistachio one as well.
Oh, bro, shut up.
Bro, it looks so good.
Oh, it's fine. Okay, it's fine.
Right.
They delivered it to the wrong place. We're going to do this without a pistachio milkshake.
Yeah.
What
was I saying? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so what you said is interesting. Like, investing in media, if you're a Muslim investor, that's pretty much a no-go, right?
Yeah.
Freshly Grounded, Alhamdulillah Barak, man.
Go.
What's that?
Freshly Grounded is a go.
It is a go.
Yeah.
And for multiple reasons, multiple angles. But yeah, media specifically is an extremely lucrative space, but there's such little wiggle room really for Muslims to get in and stay within the the guidelines of the Sharia. But for FG's given that, and what an opportunity, man. And the fact that FG's brand is so big, Alhamdulillah, like I think that's why you've been able to like hit half the amount in like whatever it is 2 weeks, because even me coming on as a guest host here and there, I see the impact of it. Like, people start recognizing me, and even though
did you get recognised today, Kaya Ismail?
What's that?
Did you get recognised today?
No, that's not what I meant. I didn't get stopped for that. I just got stopped because I was replying to you, and then someone stopped me to say hello, but it wasn't about FG.
Oh, okay, fine.
Yeah.
It was from your own
network.
From your own network.
Which exists. I know someone.
Great.
But the point is, I can see the reach of the brand.
Right.
Don't forget, we're not even in the city where FG was born.
Yeah.
We've come across the world, and I still kind of get like recognized here and there, even though I'm not like I'm not someone who's been part of the brand since 2017, 2016. 2017. Yeah. So I get a little taste of that, and I think everyone gets a little taste of that when you see, like, if you look at FG's the persistence over this period, coming up to 10 years now. Weekly episodes, bro, and for periods in there, multiple episodes a week, lockdown times.
I definitely want to get back to that. Yeah, so I feel ashamed that we let it, in the past year or so.
It's not shame, bro. How many podcasts can claim that they've done that even for like a month or two?
Yeah.
Let alone for almost 10 years.
Yeah.
So all this stuff, amalgamates into the brand. That's what. And you were mentioning like Netflix and Twitter. So Twitter sold for 41 billion to Elon Musk, even though I don't think it was making money. Well, I think it just started, they just turned a profit that the year before. It wasn't a big profit. The reason is brand.
Yeah.
You know, you buy the brand attracts other ways of not just revenue, but a brand is a store of value, almost like a property.
Yeah.
When you've got a brand, when you've got Twitter, you've got Netflix, making money is kind of the bonus. The fact that you own a slice of it is like, next time it gets acquired or next time it makes a move and this and that, you get a chance to cash out or whatever. So brand in of itself is branding of itself is huge, and the reason it's huge because it's so difficult to build. Yeah, so when you get a slice, because really what brand is, you slice of someone's brain. Yeah, you can make revenue. You can go down to the seashore and sell seashells. You can sell that and get revenue, but for people to know your name, your face, the logo, the brand, mention it to friends, mention it to you in the street, that's incredibly difficult. And that's why brand's important, man.
I think the tough thing was always been that everything has been super bootstrapped, right? So like everything we were able to grow Fresh Organic to was organic in terms of like the content. And so, you know, people will be shocked to know stuff like, you know, we were joking at the beginning of the episode that you got a brand new mic, but actually the mics that we use at Freshly Grounded, or until you got this mic, are the same mics bought in 2016. I bought those mics 9 years ago with my wedding fund. I spent £700 on podcast equipment, and one of those things was those mics, and still the same mics, still the same mic arms. We used to record the episodes on a GoPro, and then we recorded them on a Canon G7X, which is one vlog camera, and then eventually saved up and got the cameras that we've done the last, you know, 4 years, you know, 3 or 4 years on, and then finally today is the first episode we're using some cinema cameras, bro.
I was gonna say the camera's looking a bit special today.
Alhamdulillah, we're using like, you know, we've upgraded our equipment and stuff, which is nice. But yeah, man, like the big thing is the office, the studio. We're getting a purpose-built studio made, custom built by a construction company, and yeah, man, it's gonna have 5 different sets in there. It's gonna be incredible. I can't wait for everyone to see it.
Give us a sneak peek, man. I always gonna say everything, but give us a sneak peek of like what 5 studios for what? People are gonna say 5 studios for what? Yeah,
fine. So like one of them, for example, is just a green wall. So it's green screen. So it's like a set in itself. But you know, I'm happy to be as transparent as, you know, to an extent, as transparent as I can be, because I think the audience deserve that. They've been on this journey with us, so there's not going to be a lot of like surprises. Like one of the big things is that we obviously know how to create and grow content. We've done it at Fresh Grounded, done it with Tortil, done it with numerous brands that perhaps people don't even know of that are in the Muslim space that now have like a, you know, 6-figure following. And so that's if we can go back to anything being our base, it's our love for content and being able to grow content brands. And so one of the things that we're going to start doing is building brands under the Freshly Grounded umbrella. We have no intention to actually sell Freshly Grounded. It's too close to my heart, but also it's too valuable. The audience is valuable. We wouldn't want somebody to like sell our audience data or use our brand that we built and it be not aligned with our morals and ethics. So they use that brand and then now all of a sudden it's like got music and stuff like that. However, you know, there's an opportunity to use our resources and our expertise in building content brands and maybe scaling and exiting those. So, you know, you could argue that there's no Muslim version of Blippy, right? But that's completely halal. You know, can we create, grow and scale a brand like that and exit to the right, you know, someone who's aligned with us morally and ethically? That's an example. And so, you know, we want to have a purpose-built studio from the start. So we've got, one of them is a green screen. Also another set that I won't, there are a few sets that I won't mention actually, but yeah, like different things. But the one that makes up most excited about is the Freshly Grounded set. So I wanted it to be, so I was in there with the construction company this past week, measuring things up and stuff. And one of the things that I want to always do is have a similar set. I don't ever want to go like so off of the Freshly Grounded vision. And so our classic set is the big table, you know, sitting on either side. And even the sitting on either side, I've considered the armchair kind of vibe like we're doing right now. But there's, you know, we tried that for a few months previously, like the episode of Sheikh Mohammed Tim and stuff like that. And what I realized is, we're Muslims and we want to protect our Izzah and stuff like that as well. And so little things like, we shot some episodes and I'd shoot the whole episode, and I realized that because we're sat on on a sofa, our guest has got like his legs open the whole session, and it's like it's not very protecting of his honor. But also, even if he doesn't mind, it's probably not great for like our audience seeing that. Yeah. So the table, you only can possibly see the top half of somebody. So I think that's helpful and protects the honor of our guests and ourselves. And sometimes you're shooting episodes and you don't know what you're doing. You don't like, and so it's just like protection. So there was that angle. But I just always love that vibe of like the big table and stuff. Yeah. So the set for Freshly Grounded, the episode is going to go back to the table, people sitting across each other. But I'll tell you this: as you and I sit here today, Kaya, we are having built a custom table. It's 3 meters long, by almost 2 meters wide.
Well, that's huge.
It's a massive
3
table.
meters long, 2 meters wide.
It's bigger than this room.
That's like almost
It's rectangle. It's 1.8 meters wide.
So big.
3 meters long. So it's like if you want to envision it, have you ever seen like a 12 or 10 man dinner table?
Yeah,
it's like that, but it's only gonna have 4 seats.
Yeah, okay.
So we're gonna be still like normal, but it's just this huge grand table. We can just put like ornaments on there, like as in like cool like odes to Freshly
Is it gonna be like the original FG where? So in the step before this, the table was sort of like coming at the camera. Yeah. Is it gonna be now going sort of?
No, it's gonna be like that, like coming at the camera. So it's still gonna be, if you're looking at it from the camera, it's vertical. The table.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So you're gonna be we're gonna be facing each other, which I think is the best way,
I think so,
right?
yeah.
When you're sitting next to each other, you're looking out at the camera. You're not really like engaging. Your body isn't turned. Yeah. That's been we're gonna do that, but we've previously always used this IKEA table, right? And then all these podcast studios started being created, and they all started using the same IKEA table. And so I wanted to have a custom built table. And so it's like, that originally I was gonna go to that company that you got your dining table from. Yeah. Because I wanted that kind of effect. But the the company that we're using to fit out our whole studio, they were like, we can build that custom. Okay. So everything's custom in the studio.
Sick.
Yeah.
Sick. I'm looking forward to that.
Another thing, I'll just tell you this, everyone.
Yeah, tell me.
So this Freshly Grounded logo? Yeah. Imagine this, but like 5 times bigger. Sick. Yeah. So it's still an ode to the original FG, boy. It's still going to have this thing on the table. It's not anything vastly different, the set. It's not going to be like a spaceship, but it's just going to be bigger and grander. But it's also going to be more purpose-built. Right, we're going to be releasing way more episodes. We're going to have a lot more fun with it, and so it's really exciting, bro. But I've learned a hell of a lot in the investor calls and the shareholder agreements and all that. Imagine. The whole corporate side of FG. Man, I feel like I've in the last 2 weeks gone for 3 years of education, business education.
I'm not about it, man. I'm excited, man. Yeah, I'm excited. It's big. It's a massive move.
Inshallah, man. Inshallah. And they're both like the audience has been so supportive, and yeah, I probably shouldn't have been as transparent as I am, because I feel like the sunnah is to not talk about your plans.
I feel like you've only like revealed like 1/5 of what's happening really
inside
this.
So, and also inshallah. Really and truly, our audience has always just been so supportive, bro. It's like our audience is what's made FG, alhamdulillah. So that's the kind of stuff that we've got going on. That's what we're going to be building, and we've got investors, so we have to figure out the monetization arm of that as well, which we've been working on, which has been fun to work on as well. So exciting times ahead, inshallah. But you should be back to seeing a lot more FG, man. 2020, 2021, 2019, those times. Yeah, where it's going to be very obvious that it's the forefront of my focal point. I'm literally, I think I said to you the other day, I was like, Kaya, I'm turning down every opportunity I get. Yeah. Apart from like events and speaking and stuff like that, but like in general, like, sometimes consultancy, things like that. It's like, I'm going to finish up with these clients that I'm consulting and then that's it. I had somebody reach out to me about consultancy literally like 2 days ago. I was like, I'm not offering anymore. And it's a weird feeling when someone's coming to you to provide them with a service that they would pay you for, and you're saying, that's not what I'm doing. It felt good. It felt like I'm giving everything to FG now. So inshallah, bro, like we've got probably another few weeks of like a bit of wishy-washiness, just sorting things out, getting office built, like not knowing when and where we're going to do episodes. Maybe we might have a few more in this set, but eventually, inshallah, we'll be at like, hopefully, as we get into May and definitely towards the end of it, we'll be hitting the ground running, inshallah.
Inshallah, man. I'm excited, bro.
Yeah, likewise.
It's like I kind of when I was in my FG bag, yeah,
Right.
which was like it was 2018, 2019, I think. I was like basically before I got married, right? I was like consuming a lot of FG. That is like I'm putting myself back in my shoes then. Like this would have been huge news for me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
the fact that you're telling me FG is gonna go from once a week to like multiple times a week. Like this is epic.
Yeah.
So I'm excited. I'm almost like I'm excited for the audience as well.
Yeah.
Because I know I've met and people have told me as well that that audience profile still very much exists. That 18, 19, 20-year-old who's watching FG like as soon as it comes out, they're watching it.
Yeah,
like
and we're going to do a lot more to create content for them as well.
Yeah.
So you mentioned just now that Fresh Organic has been around for almost 10 years.
Yeah.
And what's happened in that time, we've noticed through our data, is that the audience has grown with us. And so when I was 10 years ago, 8 years ago, creating Fresh Organic episodes, just got newly married, didn't have kids, was figuring out my career, so was our audience. And then as I got older, as did our audience, you saw in the data analytics, our audience got older. And so where our big audience before was 18 to 24-year-olds, now our largest audience is 25 to 34-year-olds, which is also my age group, right? And so now, in them having grown with me, I have kids now, you have kids now, our audience has... You said when you were listening to Fresh Organic just before marriage, obviously you weren't married or you were just getting married, you didn't have kids. Now you've got kids, I've got kids, alhamdulillah. And so our audience has kids and they're like more established in their careers. We've noticed that. However, like you said, there's also always going to be a new batch of people listening to Fresh Organic because, in whatever stage of their life that they're at. And so we have to also create content for them. And so we've got some plans for that as well, where, I'm not oblivious to the fact that me as a 31-year-old now probably won't relate to someone who's 22 years old, just left uni, or 20 years old, 21 years old, just left uni, trying to figure things out. But we want to create content for those individuals because Fresh Garden more than anything is a mission. And that mission has always been the same, and it always will continue to be the same, which is let's try and create an identity or have an identity for people where they feel a bit like a belonging, where they don't feel embarrassed that they are working on themselves Islamically to try and stop listening to music, to stop being around bad friends, to stop swearing, to stop making jokes that are inappropriate. And they can come to Fresh Guided and know that they can listen to it. They won't get any of that. But also we're not, hopefully, like just completely unrelatable, just like, people who are just like, we don't, I suppose I relate to them. And I have to have an honest conversation with myself and say, well, can I still relate to that individual who's just left uni? Because I'm not in that space anymore. I'm thinking now about, oh gosh, schooling and, my 4-year-old yesterday at school, like, got in like a situation with another kid, and like, how do you battle with that? How do you deal with that? Like, how do you tell them off appropriately and things like that? So that's kind of my headspace, right? And somebody who's listening, who's 19 years old, listening to episodes about us just talking about parenting, they're going to switch off. But we want to be able to serve those individuals as well and have a space for them. And so we've got some exciting stuff coming up for that generation now, which is weird even calling it generation. We're getting older. Like, I was looking at myself in the mirror today and I've got like more grey hairs.
Yeah, man.
But equally, there'll be so much stuff for our, the core Fresh Ground audience, which we have at the moment, which are slightly older, people in their late 20s, early 30s. We've got, we're always going to continue that. But yeah, just way more content, way more exciting stuff, way more interviews as well with people that you guys love and that you see across all media platforms, athletes. So we've got that in the plans, but also like just more of this. So yeah, just more. Give me more, baby. Yeah.
When you were younger, did you consume content only from your age peers, or did you not seek out, but did you also watch content who were 30, 40? Because I remember that back then, again, I would also like watch a lot of like Gary Vee.
Yeah.
And he was older.
Well, even now, like I
still do, yeah.
I watch like,
what's that guy called? Finance guy.
Oh, Dave Ramsey.
Dave Ramsey.
Example, yeah. He's like in his 60s now, watches content. Yeah. And then also, who are the guys who do why is it slipping my mind? The VC guys. I just slipped my mind.
All in.
Yeah, all in.
All in.
All in, like... even though-
Although our principal, I stopped listening to them like a year ago, or 2 years ago.
Yeah,
One of them said something that it ground my gears so much.
But it was really bad. He said about he was like, why do we care about the Uyghurs?
Yeah,
it was really bad.
it was that. He said a couple of things.
Yeah.
He said that. He also said
No, the Uyghur comment was disgusting.
yeah,
bro.
it was.
Yeah.
He said a few disgusting things.
You know what's interesting is actually at that time I didn't used to consume it.
Really?
Even now I don't like sit there listening to it.
Yeah.
But there's like
if there's a clip,
for example, there's something that's happening like the tech world, like on the VC level, I want to know like what's going on.
I watched a clip of that, but I won't say that. There was a point where I would watch listen to the whole episode. No,
yeah, fine.
He also said something like crazy, like Singapore's so amazing because it did all of that while surrounded by Muslim countries.
No.
Yeah, and I was
same
like,
guy.
Singapore.
No, but was it the same guy?
Yeah, same guy.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know say his name either if I can remember it. It's
Chamath.
Yeah. And I was like, bro, I just paused at that point. I was like, what am I listening to? Why am I listening to these guys?
Yeah, and he's so nonchalant. Like, he doesn't even like.
You know what I mean? And like, there's no pushback either. But I continue just for a minute to see they don't push it back with that crazy comment.
That's mad,
bro. Their name was like Malaysia, like bro,
really?
like these are like amazing
Wow.
countries. So at that point, I paused. I was like, bro, why am I listening?
No, it's important to stop listening to and promoting and bringing up content that's like.
Again, freshly
like
FG, man. This is it. Like, this is, you know, FG is a fantastic alternative to like listening to. Obviously, we're not billionaire VCs, but inshallah, get to a point where there's legitimate under the FG umbrella,
content for people. Yeah, of course, bro. That's what we want to do.
Why not? Because you know what, bro? I've been on Twitter recently. I've got back on my Twitter game. I'm shocked and surprised in a good way at how amazing and flourishing the Muslim tech scene, the Muslim entrepreneurship scene is.
Oh, bro, like in the last 5 years.
I was out of touch with it, you know. Yeah. That's the only way I was out of touch with it.
Well, Muslims are always behind it in tech.
Yeah, but you know what? Now it seems like...
Not anymore, son.
Yeah.
Not anymore, son.
Come on, bro.
Not anymore, son.
Like, for example, you know the app I keep talking to you about, Replit?
Yes.
You can literally prompt... It's like ChatGPT for building apps.
Yeah.
That's from a Jordanian... He was born in Jordan. He's in California now, but lives in Jordan. Constantly speaking about Gaza and Palestine, and just like in general, it doesn't have to be like even massive companies. That's like $1 billion company, by the way.
Wow.
But there's other just brothers doing like amazing work, man, building multiple apps at the same time, and they're good quality apps, bro. Getting acquired, this and that. So yeah, there's no reason why like we can't
be a global leader in like media and stuff like that.
Why not?
Of course.
Why not?
Yeah, bro, for sure. But yeah, but like that's kind of taken up like all of the time recently. I would love to hear in the comments like if you guys got suggestions for what we can do in our new studio in terms of like, you know, we're fitting this out custom. So if you've got ideas for studio, I'll tell you one thing that we are getting, Kaya. We are getting a bean to cup coffee machine you've never seen before. Yeah.
Bro,
it's not barista.
Can I convince you to get barista one?
No.
Why?
You can't. Because
budget.
It's no but this boy. This is a good coffee machine.
I'll tell you why though.
But
this could be bro. Let me tell you something. The coffee scene is going through the roof. This could be like a niche for FG to get into.
No, bro. I'll tell you what, bro. Let's say
I'd pay good money to watch you make coffee.
I know, but let's say if a guest like you got a meeting in the office, you know, sitting there
really quick,
that's
true. Yeah,
it's still bean to cup. I'm gonna get the beans from Keo.
Yeah, I hear it.
Well, I'm gonna get the beans from Boone.
It's gonna be good.
He's gonna be some locally sourced stuff. He's gonna be some good local coffee beans.
Fair.
Ideally from Muslim-owned businesses.
Yep.
And you just press capture. Who's that?
If that's my milkshake, I'm gonna go nuts.
Bro, I'm gonna go pistachio. Let's check. There's a knock on the door. There's a ring on the doorbell, guys. Let's see what it is.
There's a ring on the knock bell. Yeah. Bro, you know what must have happened? My wife must have ordered something else, and that guy was calling me. I thought that was this, but it wasn't. Oh, phew.
Bro.
Now I'm excited. Now I'm excited.
I'm looking at this, and I just want to say, abso-freaking-lutely.
Yeah.
Abso-freaking-lutely,
when you taste it, mate.
And I don't mean to swear.
Yeah, please, like.
But abso-freaking-lutely.
Redact that.
Yeah. Can I also say that I bless the tablet driver. I just said to the driver, I answered the door. I said, "Huh."
You're late.
He should be. I said, "The app said that it's already been delivered." And he looked at me. He goes, "Huh." And then I said, "Okay, anyway, it's fine. Thank you." He said, "Nice." So okay, fine. So, right, let's do an unboxing up in this joint. Right. Look at that. Absolutely.
Listen, if you don't know about Caventas, yeah,
No, but I don't know about
get
it.
to know.
So it comes,
Hold
like
on.
it comes in a glass
Yeah.
milk bottle.
Oh, is that, which one is pistachio?
It says there's 2 different flavors, so we'll figure it out.
Okay.
Right.
It's not looking
So
very
the
pistachio-y.
bottle also at the top says, "After all this, I can't read." Oh my gosh! I've just discovered I'm a 31-year-old man who doesn't know how to read. And it's only one sentence, and they're really simple words.
It's literally on a bottle cap.
Yeah, it's literally more guy. Yeah. It says, "After all this time?" Question mark. Always. What does that mean? After all this time?
I don't know, but I love it.
I do love it.
I do.
So Caventas, the original milkshake, United Arab Emirates. Nice.
This is like a homegrown.
Okay, this looks
brand.
pistachio because it looks a little bit.
Yeah.
It looks a little bit greeny.
Does it?
A little bit.
Yeah, that's Ferrero Rocher, which is mine.
Oh yeah, that's definitely.
What I like about these guys is that they're not putting mad like colouring in. Oh, look how green it is. It's actually legit.
But the fact it's in glass milk bottle,
Bro,
it's just
when you taste
absolutely
it-
amazing branding.
When you taste it, you're gonna know these guys are legit.
What a great shout, Kaya.
It is a great
There you
shout.
go.
I'm not even gonna disagree with you on that.
Even and they got milkshake straws. Like
Yeah,
thick
they're
straws.
legit straws.
I'll give them a bad. I will say one bad thing is that their straws are plastic. Their straws are paper. Great
yeah,
for the environment.
they've gone a bit woke.
Bad for me.
Yeah, but it's a good quality paper. If you can say that,
Bro, this is.
I want to see your face change.
I can't believe,
My
bro.
hands are-
Do you know what? I feel holding milk in a glass
Feel
bottle.
honoured.
Holding milk in a glass bottle feels right.
Yeah, that's true. It's so true, isn't it?
That's what it feels. It feels right.
You know what? Drinking anything from a glass bottle feels so much better. Same
Yeah.
drink in a glass bottle or glass cup. Oh,
Yeah,
mate,
yeah,
you know what? Yeah.
Go glass.
Go glass,
Yeah.
everyone. Yeah.
You can't. The thing is,
bro.
though, hey, I'm not against drinking.
Look at
from
me
straw.
right now.
Yeah, yeah. I'm not. Yeah. I'm not anti drinking from straw.
Yep.
But will I be seen on camera drinking from straw? Absolutely not.
Really?
I'm gonna have to not. Yeah, but I can't.
Oh, come on, man.
There's no masculine way to drink from a straw. Try
Fair.
it.
All
bro.
right, fair. All right.
I'm gonna go for.
Fairs. These are legit.
Wow.
Is it?
That's probably the best milkshake I've ever had. I wouldn't be surprised if like
It
they're
is.
known for like organic milk or something. Milk tastes different.
Yeah. I don't know if they what kind of milk they're using, but it is the best milkshake I've ever had.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thanks, bro.
You're welcome. They used to have a saffron and almond flavor,
Oh, that sounds good.
which is incredible.
I've forgotten what we were even talking about. That does sound good. You know what I had today?
I don't think it matters anymore.
No, it doesn't. I had lemon and garlic chicken or something. It was really nice.
That sounds great. From
Yeah,
where?
I'm not really a lemon guy, but it was good.
When they're heavier than lemon and garlic, it's good. If it's like very, they've just put a little bit on there, it doesn't move the needle at all.
Fine.
But if you put a lot on there,
No, it wasn't a lot. That's why I liked it. I think.
Oh really?
Yeah.
For me, it's got to be a lot. Otherwise,
Yeah,
it doesn't
too
move
much
the needle.
lemon wouldn't make sense. Wouldn't be good for me.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think so.
You allergic to lemons?
Not allergic to them, but it just makes it a bit like sour, right?
Yeah.
No, but I can appreciate a good lemon.
You never had lemon chicken from like a Chinese place? The lemon
I
chicken?
guess not.
It's very good.
Sweet and sour chicken.
Imagine sweet and sour chicken, but instead
Yeah.
of sweet, it's lemony.
I don't know if that would be me.
No, it's nice though. Healthy amount of sugar in there as well. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
It's
Fair
kind-
enough.
It's kind of like a lemonade, but with a chicken in it.
Oh, this must have a lot of sugar in it.
Oh yeah,
Oh yeah.
that's why it tastes so good.
Oh, this is doused in sugar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I used to get the saffron and almond one, thinking it was like maybe a little bit healthy, but I was kidding myself.
Okay.
Yeah, but the quality is just
No,
unreal.
that's good. I'm happy with that. Thanks, bro.
You're welcome.
Yeah. So. Yeah. The. Yeah, I cannot remember what we were talking about, but I did. Yeah, so I wanted to clarify some of that stuff in this episode anyway for the listeners. Let them know what's going on, what they can expect, and allow you to, because you had some questions for me about like, how's the course going? What did you learn and stuff like that? And I said, oh, that'd be good actually. Like, I'm happy to talk about that kind of stuff in the podcast because you were going to ask me some questions, and then I stopped you in your tracks. So feel free. I'm still very much so learning, but I do feel like I've learned a lot over the past few.
I think my most earnest question would be, what's the question?
Are we doing the live events? No, go on.
What's the questions come up most?
Okay, good question. I've actually got like a cheat sheet that I put together of like common questions that come up for investors. But the most common question.
And it might be
Let
in
me look at my
different
cheat sheet.
forms, like asked different ways, but they get at the same point.
Yeah, let me look at my cheat sheet.
Okay. Yeah, just go through your cheat sheet then.
What's that?
Go through the cheat sheet.
Should I?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Fine. So I basically wrote a sheet of like questions that would come out quite often, and I thought, let me dive into them. So some of them are like typical like stuff like around voting rights, like or dividends or profit sharing. Won't like this stuff was mentioned in the deck. We're kind of just going over them and stuff. You know, what happens if we're not profitable by when we say that we're planning to start divvying up dividends and things like that. Okay, well, probably the most common question actually has been about future fundraising rounds. Yeah, like, do you plan to do another round of fundraising? If you do, how are you going to approach that and stuff like that? And you know, can you reward early investors and things like that? So, yeah, I've basically been saying like we don't currently plan to do a second round. We also, by the way, if anybody here listening is planning to considering investing, we opened it up to our community for a reason. We would love for you guys to be part of it, but we don't plan to raise a second round, so this might be the only chance. However, bro, we can't like if we started, most companies, majority of companies will do a second round, a third round, fourth round. That's why you have seed and your pre-seed and seed and so on and so forth, right? So we can't say no. Ideally, we don't have to raise again, and we just like kill it, right?
Yeah.
From like just a little bit of a leg up, but the plan is that if we do raise a second round, of course, what happens is that investors' stake becomes diluted. And so that's obviously a concern for investor. Even though it's expected, it's like, okay, like how do you plan to protect that from that? So, you know, the idea is that if we're going to raise a second round, that it would be at a high valuation. And that way, even though an investor's percentage might go down slightly, they essentially are getting a smaller piece of a bigger pie. So fiscally, it's actually increases their...
Fiscally?
Yeah.
That's got to be a new word you've implemented,
No,
surely.
no,
Come on,
no,
fisc.
no. I've always known
You just
about...
drop that in there.
I've always known about the old fisc. Liquidity and exit options. So I kind of made it clear to all investors that we're not planning to sell freshly grounded. So, you know, there's 3 types of ways that they could essentially like typically liquidate. One would be acquisition. So I said like that's really not in our plans. We don't expect to do that. Secondary share sales to new investors. So let's say, for example, their mate comes along and goes, oh, can I buy your shares off you? We basically said that is possible, but it's based on founder approval, because we want to make sure that anyone who's has any part to do with freshly grounded is aligned with us morally and ethically. So it can't just be like you're just selling your shares. It has to like we have to approve it. And then the third option is potential buyback by the company, which is us buying it back. Yeah, a lot of it is like stuff like nitty gritty kind of like like a common one is how often you can update investors. Okay. Like that. What are you looking for in an investor? That kind of stuff, really. Not so much about... we have had questions around the business model, but the reason I did the calls was for 2 things. One was the process has been, we've had a lot of people inbound get in touch with us. I've sent them the deck. The deck outlines the minimum ticket. It outlines, what we're planning to do with the business model and stuff like that. And so by sending people and then I send them a link to jump on a call with me. And so the idea is that will just, by them reviewing the deck first, that filter out the people. So if they're on a call with me, that means that they're in a position to invest.
Yeah.
So that's helped a lot, because everyone I've had conversations with, for the most part, have been very productive conversations. It helps having these one-on-one calls, because we can cover if any time an investor has had a question about the business model, like, do you really think you can do this and stuff like that, after they've got off the call with me, they're like very confident. And that's because I think they can see in me that, bro, I was on a call yesterday and I was like, the fact that I have left a really, comfortable head of department position in a thriving tech company with 11 million users, to do this should be all you need to know about if I believe in this model or not, if I believe in this, right? So yeah, like, I've had like great conversations in that sense. But
Have you had a very difficult call yet?
I have had some difficult calls here.
What was difficult about it?
I've had some difficult calls where like I just feel like we're not aligned, like in terms of like how how like a potential investor is. I'm trying to think of like I had one. What was
Involved?
difficult about it? I think it's important to me that they understand. Yeah, like they're passionate about freshly grounded, right? In that sense, which most of them have been. But like I think like I'm okay with. I actually encourage like people to ask a lot of questions. I'm okay with asking a lot of questions because, you know, I don't have anything to hide. We're able to be super transparent, but also we want to get those questions so that we have the answers for those questions. Especially like people investing their money where they have a right to ask these questions. But there's been once or twice where there's been like questions that, okay, this is no longer relevant to what we're talking about, right? So it's like,
What's your favorite color?
yeah, no, but it's like it becomes like really almost like asking questions for the sake of questions. Like, okay, I don't think this is going anywhere now. Like, are we just extending the conversation? Like, right? So there's like little things like that. But for the most part, bro, the investor call has been really great and productive, and just like a great suite of individuals. I'll tell you what was surprising. How effective LinkedIn was. You've been telling me about LinkedIn for ages. I've just never really, you know, really been a big LinkedIn guy.
Yeah.
I've never been a BLG, bro.
Yeah.
Big LinkedIn guy.
LinkedIn's on the up and up, man.
But bro, as soon as I posted it on LinkedIn, actually the majority of our investors who actually invested, who actually put, you know, pen to paper, they were like, yeah, we saw your post on LinkedIn. And then I did another update on LinkedIn, like, oh, here's how it's going. Again, another like rush of investors. So LinkedIn has been really good.
Bro, LinkedIn is the boardroom, man. Yeah,
I didn't know.
From the boardroom.
I wasn't familiar with LinkedIn's game.
Yeah, you can listen. You can look down from the boardroom at the playground at TikTok. You can see.
Yeah.
You'll see me down there on the monkey bars, but then you got to turn around and see me in the boardroom as well, man.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I'm. Do you know what's good about LinkedIn is that it's interesting because everyone's trying to get their everyone's trying to get their agenda across. Like, so if someone's looking for a job, they're very like overly friendly in comments of like employers. If someone's looking to hire, they're like, so. Or if someone's trying to look to network, so in the comments is a very positive place.
Yes,
it's because it's like great work, like because I'm sure they're very sincere, but also like you just see that culture on LinkedIn where it's incredibly positive because you can't help but think like people, you know, are open to networking and things like that, right?
It's like the corridor of like a big company. Do you know what I mean? You're not. Everyone's like, whether it's false or not, you're smiling and like, oh hi, how was the break? And
it's exactly how you'd expect a corporate social media to be.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
But it's nice. It's nice. Like, and I think LinkedIn is a social media platform that I feel the most support from, in that sense, because it's very positive.
Yeah, and again, man, like talking about going back to the whole like brands under FG, like FG could have a brand that targets that kind of channel, you know, because LinkedIn video and LinkedIn Shorts are booming right now. You
said that. I need to play around with that because I haven't done that yet.
Yeah.
You were telling me about LinkedIn videos.
So you know, there's something to be experimented.
Something to be said about
that. There's something to be posted on LinkedIn about it, perhaps.
Yeah.
How about that?
How do you use LinkedIn?
So there's a button, you just press the post. I'm using it right now, again, for my agency. Okay. So to generate leads for my agency, what I've done, I have figured out who my target market is, obviously. So for me, it's the CEOs and the CMOs of SaaS companies. B2B SaaS companies specifically, but SaaS companies, say. I then spend time writing out a whole bunch of LinkedIn posts and Twitter posts too. I think I've got about 150 of them. And inshallah, they're good quality. I use AI to help, but not to write them. I'm now using a tool called Hype Fury, which basically allows me to put those 150 posts in a loop. So I put it in once and it's on a loop. and it's posted for me about 2 or 3 times a week now, and I'm trying on top of that do organic stuff as well. But when you schedule things like that, it's a lot easier for me personally to then go out and like organically engage and post more, because I know I've got that base going out already. For me, when I'm starting out a new channel, I find it hard to get into the rhythm of it to like post every day, post every week. So when I know I've got that automation in the background that's going to post twice a week for me, I just feel a lot more at ease just putting a little like here, putting a comment there, commenting on somebody else's post and just saying something insightful perhaps. So that's what I'm trying to do. I've got automation going on, and I'm trying myself to be as organic as possible, replying to other people.
That's really good, bro. That's how automation should be used, where you're using automations for the things that don't require that personability. But then for commenting and for interacting, you're still using yourself.
The AI comment stuff is atrocious, man.
Is that a thing? So people set up bots to comment on it?
Oh, man, it's horrible. And on Twitter as well now, but mainly LinkedIn. So it's like... And it's such a dead giveaway that it's AI, right? Everyone is clocking onto it, and yeah, it's just ruining people's brands, like their personal brands. Because it's like, me, Kaya Ismail, using it, and I've posted on someone's one of my target markets LinkedIn posts, and it is clearly AI. Like I've said something that just doesn't sound right? I'm now negative. I'm building like a negative perception of myself.
Yeah, exactly.
It's better not even to comment.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think I've got a feeling that the people using it are going to clock on and stop. But yeah, if you go into some popular LinkedIn posts, we've got like, 10, 15, 20 comments plus, you'll see in there, they'll just be like weirdly worded comments with hashtags in the comments.
Really?
Just like, man, it's not a real comment. So,
but it's easy to tell for you, but I think for the layperson, it might not be, right?
It's got to the point now where it's like, it's become a meme now.
Fine.
So it's definitely caught on that like these bots are here and they're ridiculous and like everyone should stop using them. So it's become... Yeah. I don't get me wrong, man. Again, AI is amazing, but there's certain use cases where it's just like it's not for that. I don't think.
Probably the use of AI in writing probably has just helped accentuate the quality of video, because video you can't really fake right. I mean, you can, but also not like.
So I'll tell you how I use AI to do my 150 posts. I could have just what a lot of people would do is say, give me 150 or whatever, they'd break it up, but 150 LinkedIn posts talking about SaaS company growth, right? And it would do it for you, and it would be okay, but it wouldn't really be great. And it's easy to see that it's AI. Anyone who's, especially in SaaS, they're going to see it and it looks like AI to me. Instead, what I did is I used it to help generate ideas, right? So I said, my target market is this, my agency has this, and this service. I've been doing it for almost 10 years. I gave it all the information I could give it. I said, give me some ideas, contents that I can touch on, topics I can touch on that would resonate with my target audience. So give me ideas and maybe pointers, maybe some bullet points, but then I would write it. Or if it did write it for me, I would just, it's a starting point and I can edit it and change it around. Yeah. So that's how I use AI for content. And I think that's the way to do it, man. Because people can tell that it's AI, bro. And there's sometimes nothing wrong with that. But if you're putting it on your LinkedIn, if you're putting it front and center on your website, the website maybe not so much, like a homepage and stuff, it's not so bad. But, regular blog posts, kind of stuff like that, you don't want people to associate that sort of, I'm not going to say laziness, but it's not unique.
Yeah, but the good thing about that is that now uniqueness stands out more.
Yeah, it's interesting because Google just said they had an event in Lisbon or Madrid, and
somewhere in Europe,
somewhere on that peninsula, and they said that they're using human, what's it called, human graders. So like in SEO, they're using humans to like for certain popular search terms, those humans will go into the first page, and they will, on top of what the algorithm's already doing, they will then grade number 1, number 2, number 3, who should be 1, who should be 2 here. And one of the things they said in their criteria is if it's AI generated content, that's going to be negatively
how would the humans
graded.
know it's AI generated?
Again, you can pretty much tell, but I'm sure Google's got very sophisticated
I feel sorry for
tools.
people who like just used to write so well that they actually just sound like AI. Like, for example, that long hyphen that ChatGPT does.
Yeah, the M dash.
I've never known any human to ever use that hyphen.
I used to use it.
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
That surprised me.
which is really annoying.
But I apart from one, I knew one guy who used to use that iPhone, and I remember feeling sorry for him, thinking that people always think that he's ChatGPT,
Yeah.
but he's actually not. He doesn't even use ChatGPT for copy, but he always used to use that iPhone. And you know, I actually removed that iPhone from all of my ChatGPT copy.
Yeah, you should.
Yeah, because it just looks too ChatGPT.
It does.
Yeah.
And there's giveaways. If someone's being really lazy, it's very easy to see. They gives those bullet points with the emojis. It'll make the emoji bullet point list.
Oh, okay.
That's just like no human's going to find the little emojis to make a bullet point list. Not doing that. You don't do it.
I do bullet point emojis
Yeah, but it's
for like captions and stuff.
yeah, that's fine. But
Okay,
in a LinkedIn everywhere, ChatGPT
okay.
will put it in a blog post or put it in a link.
Right. Yeah.
It loves doing that, right?
Yeah.
Like the M dashes, and there's just other little tells like the way it starts the sentence, things like that.
Yeah, that's true.
But even aside from that, if you can't tell by the eye, Google, they're building Gemini. I'm pretty sure they've got tools to figure out if that's AI generated or not. And also one of the criteria is like just like low value content, like low effort content. This is what Google was saying, right? So if it's not giving any additional insightful value, yeah, and AI kind of struggles to do that.
Yeah.
Sometimes AI can get you out of a rut. That's what AI is brilliant at. If you're in a rut, you're struggling with ideas. I just can't figure out like the best way to approach this thing. AI is great at that, but it's not giving anything unique ever. It's just uncovering something you forgot about or you didn't think about before. But it's always someone else to come up with that first. So if you ask it how to grow on LinkedIn, it's not going to come up with like an interesting,
it's not
innovative way.
that kind of stuff.
It'll just tell you. It'll go read Reddit. It'll go read Google
Yeah.
and give you the best tips that they can give.
It's not going to be innovative.
No. So that's what Google's looking for to rank 1 and 2. Like, is someone bringing something new to the game? If they're ranking 4th, they should be ranking 1st.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where it's heading.
Fine, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Also, like, I think it's when it comes to things that are not logical, it will struggle, right? Like, for example, like us getting these cameras. If I said ChatGPT, I've got these 2 cameras, like, should I get these cameras? It would probably go, okay, logically, they're not really a big shift in a big enough shift in technology for it to warrant that kind of price increase. Okay, logical. What you can't take into consideration is how excited those cameras would make me.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden we started to create more content.
What is? I mean,
but as in, like, but that's a bad example because that's not why.
you know what? It's not. It's actually no. It's actually a
But
perfect
it's true.
example.
Yeah, it's true.
Because you're right. Doing that kind of thing gives you, as the founder and as the practitioner of the brand, basically, a confidence boost, a boost in energy around the brand. So
I had an appointment today at the hospital, at the doctor's, and
Yeah.
I said to the doctor, there was like these 2 tests, and I was like, yeah, just like while I'm here, like let me just get both the tests, like get it off my head. And he was like, look, I really am confident that it's not this second thing, so you don't use that test and just waste your money. And I was like,
no.
yeah, I was like, listen to me, I will spend the money. I was like, look, I'm here now, and if at any point it will rule out X, Y, Z, I think it's just, and he goes to me, okay, you know what? Get it because I feel like it will help you with a peace of mind. And so again, if I said that to ChatGPT, I was like, look, I've got X, Y, Z symptoms, and I could do this test or both. ChatGPT would go, okay, logically, like, you don't need that test, just get this test because it's so unlikely to be that. But ChatGPT can't say, oh, like you, psychologically, anxiety-wise, that you might be in a much better, you'll be able to like have a lot more reassurance and stuff like that. Whereas that doctor who's a human was like, okay, fine, I can see that would like give you a bit of reassurance, so fine.
Yeah. And yeah, man, listen, I like AI. I think it's great, but I do feel like we're gonna get to a point where it's like we know when and where to use it, and I feel like we haven't found that balance yet.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think we're getting there.
Have you made any weird purchases recently?
You know what? I'm getting into fragrances a lot. You'll be pleased to hear.
That's good. There's did you see that clip of one of the shuyukh saying that
Yes.
spending money on fragrances is not wasting money?
Is it Sheikh Aziz Al Anzi?
I'm not sure.
I could be wrong about that. But yes, and that was interesting. And I think I saw that before I even started to get into fragrances. I just started getting hit with fragrance content. Maybe it's because I watched that video initially. And I thought, okay, cool. I like fragrance. Everyone likes it.
What fragrance content have you been hit with? Jeremy fragrance.
No, although I saw him years back, but I didn't get into it. I just thought, okay, this guy's a bit weird. There's a guy called
Then he started putting out like applications on social media for a wife, I think.
Did he?
Yeah.
Okay, way before I followed him and stuff way before that. There's a guy who's just moved to Dubai called TJ Talk Sense.
Okay.
And he's really good, man. He's a very like smiley guy, and he's like, he's very knowledgeable about fragrances. But the thing that caught me was this trend of Arabian fragrances killing it globally.
Really?
Emirati ones, Saudi ones, and Kuwaiti ones.
Really?
So the one, you know, these Taif Al Emirat you see in the mall.
No.
You do know if you see it. You know what I mean. That's what I'm saying. I used to walk past them. I have walked past them for 5 years. Barely look at them.
Fine.
But these guys, they're now going crazy over them.
Okay.
So they're all in the mall here. Who else is there? There's another brand called Reef in Saudi.
Okay.
They've got some booths here. Gissa.
Okay.
You might have heard of them from Kuwait. They've got in Mercato Mall, I think. Also Dubai Mall, I think. A few of them. All these Arabian Oud, things like this. And all these Western guys are coming here and just going crazy for them. And, bro, these fragrances are not designer prices.
Yeah.
They're surprised. And I thought they were designer prices. I thought I was going to pay.
But the quality of them is very good.
Quality is insane.
They've got a high amount of oil in them.
Yeah. And this is not coming from me. It's coming from these experts, right? These guys who review fragrances for a living. And they're like, this, you know, it's like it's comparable to the Chinese EV market and how it's disrupting the world. It's like, oh, Tesla was supposed to be so good, but these BYDs are coming. It's like, it's actually better, but for less price.
Yeah.
No brainer. That's basically what's happening with this fragrance thing.
I feel like you're sensing a business opportunity here.
For once, I'm not. I'm just enjoying watching it play out. I'd like to get a fragrance one time. I don't think I'm that there yet, but I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying, again, like Muslim-run brands having a global impact.
Have you seen, by the way, all of this stuff that's been going on Twitter with these Chinese factories exposing big American brands?
I haven't been enjoying it.
He's really enjoying. He's really enjoying.
It's really enjoying.
Yeah,
we're all enjoying.
Basically, so Trump puts this tariff on China, and so the Chinese factories, you know, on Twitter just started posting videos. So the factories that produce big brands like designer brands, bags and shoes and stuff like that, and that get sold for thousands of dollars per item, they've started like showing the brand secrets, how they create the stuff, how much it really costs to create the stuff, and it's just all over Twitter, and it's so entertaining to just see big brands like get crushed.
Yeah, and it kind of almost in a way vindicated me a bit. It was like I didn't really partake in the whole like, let me buy a big brand this, a big brand that. I've never been that kind of guy, and it's kind of like it was kind of my moment would be like, oh, it's a good thing I didn't. Because I feel a little bit silly if I did at this point. Not that it's silly for someone to do it, because I still see there's value in buying that. The Chinese manufacturer is trying to tell you it only costs us $20 to make it. You're paying $2,000 for it.
Have you seen those videos of when they show like Crocs being made or fake Crocs being made in like, you know, like Pakistan and stuff like that?
I think so, yeah.
I don't understand that because they pour like beads into a template. A metal template, press it down, and then a croc appears. How does that even work?
I think the beads are plastic, isn't it? The beads are plastic, so it melts it and like puts it into a mold. I think so, anyway.
But is that literally how crocs are made?
I don't know. Should we go down to the croc?
And they charge 40 quid.
This is it, man.
Well, I mean, I guess that makes sense. That's like anything.
But here's the thing: like we spoke about brand earlier, right? There is something to be said about building a brand is still a thing. So, all right, Louis Vuitton, the bag actually cost £30 to make. They're selling it for £3,000. That's crazy, fair. But there is still value in the brand, right? For whatever you could say, it's signaling wealth. You know, you can still say luxury because it's still good quality stuff. Doesn't because it's from China doesn't mean it's not good quality. So there's something there, but the question is like, is there enough there to you know allow for such a massive markup on the price? Yeah. So,
but if people are buying,
this is it. I mean, the value of a brand is in the brand, right? It's in people's minds.
If people buy, right?
Yeah, like the market is the market is the market. If
I've
people,
never-
if,
yeah,
you,
okay.
if people, if, that's a real thing, by the way.
Yeah, no, I've heard that one before, actually.
If people were demanding to buy Crocs, bro, and they're out of stock, then bro, the Crocs worth $1,000 now
Yeah.
because people were demanding it.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter where it was
It
made.
doesn't matter.
Even if you're transparent, these cost 10p to make,
Yeah.
but it doesn't matter.
It
The
doesn't
supply, people want Crocs so bad that they'll pay $1,000 for it. That's all it is. So it doesn't really. It's interesting. It probably shouldn't surprise as many people as it's surprising. But at the end of the day, there's still something to be said about brand.
What's something that you really value spending a lot of money on, and something that you really don't care how much, like you don't need to spend, you'll spend the least amount on it. You don't care how much you spend on it.
I don't really care how much I spend on clothes, to be honest.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then what about something that you would spend a lot of money on?
Coffee.
Coffee, yeah.
Coffee machine, coffee.
Yeah.
Like, and again, that's kind of like, that can't be quote unquote faked. It's like the coffee beans specifically.
Yeah.
You can't fake that.
Fine.
So that I'm happy to pay a premium for. Coffee machines, again, all the big coffee machine brands, they're made in Italy, right? It wouldn't surprise me if it was like, yeah, the 40% is made, but then the rest of it is actually imported from China.
Yeah, there's always that stuff, isn't there?
So I'm like, okay, you know, it's
like
what it is.
Apple says on their phones, like designed in California.
Exactly.
Or
So
something,
and again, it's open. Not even a secret. They build it. They build it in China.
Yeah.
They ship the parts to California, and they just like put the face on it, and it's done.
Yeah.
So again, it's kind of been an open secret this whole time.
Yeah.
I don't know how much it changes in reality, but it has been funny to watch it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those things are always funny. Like when a brand has to like apologize for something that because it's come out and it's like,
Yeah.
so all this time it was like that, like sharing of your data or
Yeah.
purposefully slowing down devices. It's like, oh, we're not going to do that anymore. It's like, okay, so all the time you actually were doing that. I thought that was a rumor. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Big brands, man. This when you get that big, again, what was in Google's first word was like manifesting like don't be evil, but they removed it.
Did they?
Yeah.
Maybe they moved it because it's like,
Take from that what you will, Faisal.
yeah. I mean, maybe they removed it because that's
word,
just a weird
word
thing.
count, isn't it?
Yeah, well,
you can't.
it's
You got to keep it. So,
it's
have
a
you on
weird-
Twitter?
It's a weird thing to put in a manifesto, no?
But it's a weird thing to remove as well.
It's a weird thing to remove.
So
yeah.
very weird. If you want to put it in, you got to keep it there.
I remember when my RE teacher in high school, so we're talking 20 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah, we're talking about 15 years ago. He was like, there's a new advert that came out for McDonald's, and it was like, our chicken nuggets now use 100% chicken. And he was like, so what did they used to use it for?
That's funny, man. I mean,
You know, when as you get older, and you know that you can like, I mean, not as you get older, you should be able to do this all the time. But for me, as I got older, you should realize that how much of this stuff you can make at home and with your own ingredients. You realize like, you don't need to buy a lot of these things from outside that have 100 ingredients in them when you can make them with 4 ingredients at home.
you just buy the frozen stuff that's already got 100 ingredients in them.
Yeah,
Just air fry at home.
Then technically that's one ingredient.
Idiot. Sorry, before I forget, have you seen this guy going viral at the moment? He's impersonating, what's his name? Mark Sutherland, the marketing guy. The British guy, crazy hair, British Airways, ex-CMO.
No, I don't know who that is.
You do know, bro.
No,
For a
show
while,
me.
we were showing his videos for a while.
Show me.
You know who he is, bro. The white guy, he's that kind of psychological marketing hacks, things like that. Hold on. Is it Mark Sutherland? Mark Sutherland. I think I'm getting his first name wrong. No, how am I not finding him?
Yeah, I don't know who you're talking about.
Oh, am I getting the wrong name here? I'm pretty sure Sutherland is his name.
Oh, Rory.
Rory Sutherland. Is it Rory? Yeah, that's
Oh,
it.
no way. Someone does impressions of him.
Yeah, it's
You
so
have
funny.
to show me.
Yeah, Rory Sutherland.
Oh, you have to show
Let
me.
me try and find it now. It's really good as well.
Oh, yeah, you have to show me.
Let me try and find one quickly.
Oh, that's such an obvious
Such a
one.
niche as well.
Yeah,
It's like,
that's so obvious. Like, that would be such a good person impression. I can't believe I never thought about that.
Rory Sutherland. Hold on. Yeah, here he is. I don't know if he's on like 20. So I don't know if it's going to be appropriate right now. Alright, yeah, it's definitely going to be swearing. Should we not post it?
Yeah, you can't post it with swearing.
Yeah, I
But
mean,
just show me.
but you can see.
I just want to see his impression.
You just see like
Oh my
he's got the hair and everything, but his voice is so good.
That's so
But he's
funny.
doing a bit of swearing, so I won't play it.
Oh no.
Oh, but yeah, it's very very funny, man. But yeah, that's niche. That's niche marketing comedy right there.
That is niche
If you know, you know.
comedy. I've got the internet guy coming tomorrow to my house.
What's he doing? Sorting the internet out.
Yeah, well, I got cold called today, and today for the first time ever, I actually, entertained it and purchased.
Go on.
Yeah, my internet company cold called me. You're like, your plan's expiring. We want to upgrade you to this plan. It's a little bit more money, but this is the benefits you get. I said, can you do tomorrow at 12 o'clock?
Yeah. Is it Virgin?
No, do.
Okay, I want to switch to Virgin,
Really? Why?
but because I think it'll just be cheaper and like it's still 5G. So
Okay.
yeah, I'm sort of scared to go through it. You know what? I never sorted out my house's like mesh system,
Okay.
so I kind of want to do like two birds with one stone.
You have to sort it out, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah. But also, do you
Like to
do you have a proper router, or do you use that 5G thing, the SIM thing?
no, I use a proper router,
Oh, okay,
but
fine.
Virgin will give me the 5G thing. I think.
Yeah. Okay.
But I've heard it's fine.
Is it?
I've heard everyone's saying it's fine.
I don't know, man. I like
No.
I like a proper broadband.
But I think they give it.
Classic.
I don't know if they give a proper route. I don't know how it
I'm
works.
I'm getting 1 GB download speed.
Really?
You know, like how 500 megs was a lot,
Yeah.
and that right now I'm on 600 meg download. Like that's a lot, bro. Like, you can live stream for me. I'm getting I think I'm getting 600 up as well, or like 200 up, and they upgrading me to 1 GB for literally like £10 more.
So, from here you connect to 5G from here because it got the range.
Yeah. Well, no, because I've got one upstairs and one downstairs.
Yeah, so I need to get.
That's
I
what
need
you
to
need.
get, I need to get one
I
upstairs.
told you about that before.
I know, bro. I just never got around to
The
it.
same as Oma. Oma never got to it.
She's been struggling with like one bar upstairs like this whole time.
I'm moving this. Well, I don't actually need 1 GB now because I'm moving this whole setup to the office. There's desks going.
Yeah, going over there.
I think the wall behind you is going as well.
Leave the wall, man.
What am I going to do with it here if I'm not filming?
Structural integrity of the house, bro.
Oh, yeah. That wall is...
Hey.
Sorry to burst everyone's bubbles.
Ba-dum-tsh.
That's a fake wall on wheels
Don't tell
right
it,
now.
man.
Behind
It's
you.
not true.
Custom built
No.
it.
Yeah.
So, all right, guys. It's 10:14 p.m. here, post meridian. So it's time to go because my eyes are shutting, quite frankly. And hopefully, guys, you'll see us next time you see us. May be in our new office. Now, if it is in our new studio, it's going to be plain white wall, no furniture. Me and Kaya potentially sat on the floor because
Dressed in plain white.
there's no way by the next episode we're gonna have the studio done, but it may be in the studio, which will be interesting.
Exciting times.
Yeah, it's exciting times because I'm really hoping that I get the keys next week, man.
Inshallah.
Guys, make dua for Fresh Uganda, please, for its success, for this new transition that we're going through, for our office and our studio. And with that being said, I've been Faisal Chowdhury.
I'm a Kaya Ismail.
We'll see you next week.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam.